points at Golden State on October 28th, but lost that game. James Harden led the Clippers last night with 27 points and 9 assists. The Clippers' defense was so effective that Atlanta had only 14 free throw attempts. It was obvious the Clippers were in a better mood in their first game without Paul. The 12-time All-Star point guard and future Hall of Famer was released late Tuesday night for being too critical of the team. We'll see if Paul's departure keeps the Clippers in a feel-good atmosphere. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Celebrate the soul of the holidays and support Altadena and Pasadena. Join us on Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, a joyful night of Motor City soul, gospel, and holiday classics featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
It's Thursday, top of the second hour, which means that Dr. Cornel West is here, hence the walk-on music. We look forward to every Monday and Thursday just to see, before we get to the dialogue even, what is the walk-on music. Today, it's Can You Remember the Delphonics, Dr. West?
Oh, yes, brother. There is no resistance without remembrance. There is no resistance without reverence. And when the inimitable Delphonics came out with the great William Hart and his brother and cousin Ann, that sound in 1969. You remember Jackson 5 would use this as their audition song along with James Brown's I Got the Feeling for Barry White and Diana Ross. Why? Because when we talk about remembrance, we're talking about empowerment. Toni Morrison says to remember is to regather that which has been dismembered, that which has been shattered, that which has been spread out, that which has been hidden, that which has been concealed. So when we remember, we regather. And of course, I come from a tradition that says, remember me. And remember me means rededicate yourself to something bigger than you in light of the giants and grand exemplars of integrity and vision and courage and love that will inspire you to be a force for good, a force for the beloved. community. So I salute the Delphonics today, though, brother. I tell you, that jam is, it reminds me. I mean, today is my brother, big blood brother Cliff's West anniversary, man. 21 years of magnificent marriage to Tish and Letitia. And, of course, I'm remembering the 70th birthday of my blood sister, Cynthia. And I'm also remembering with that wonderful dialogue you just had with Sister Dr. K.Y.'s Whitehead.
Yes.
100 years of celebrating black doings and sufferings and black excellence and black sacrifice and black resistance that Carter G. Woodson inaugurated just 100 years ago, 59 days from now.
Nope. You got the frame right. And I love the walk-on song. Can you remember the Delphonics? There is no resistance without remembrance. You can quote Cornel West on that. There is no resistance without remembrance. That's what K.Y.'s Whitehead was saying in her own way. Leave it to Dr. West to put a finer point on it. There is no resistance without remembrance. Happy birthday, Cynthia, 70th, and happy anniversary to Big Cliff. We got celebrations all around us, and that's a beautiful thing. 70th birthdays, 21st wedding anniversary.
Remember Sister Robin?
Oh yeah, Robin. 1 year since we lost Robin Ayers. 100 years since we started celebrating Black History. 160 years this week since the end of chattel slavery. Oh Lord, commemorations and celebrations abound. And as Kay said, and Dr. West and I agree, that you take these anniversaries, you take these moments for reflection, and to recommit yourself to the kind of resistance that we need to advance right about now. But again, there is no resistance without remembrance. When we come forward, give me 2 minutes here. I want to just set the stage, set the frame for what I want to talk to Dr. West about today. And when I read this piece to me and I started reading it, I said, oh yeah, Doc and I got to get into this because I've got some questions. I've got some questions for him. He needs to help me with this. But here's the framework. So I was reading a piece the other day about empathy. Not sympathy, but empathy. Empathy and sympathy, not the same thing. Sympathy, I'm feeling sorry for you. Empathy, I'm willing to put myself in your shoes to understand the journey that you have to navigate. So I was reading an article the other day about empathy as the new Christian battleground. Give me a minute and a half here. Empathy as the new Christian battleground. The article was pointing out that as the U.S. grows more diverse, we are hurtling inexorably toward that day when this will be a majority-minority country. But as the country grows more diverse, a quiet civil war is sort of unfolding inside of American Christianity about who actually deserves empathy. And so these conservatives, ranging from evangelical pastors to even to Elon Musk, have started framing empathy as a virtue, not as a virtue, I should say, but as a vulnerability. Let me repeat that so you get it right. They're framing empathy not as a virtue, but as a vulnerability on all kinds of issues: immigration, racial justice, poverty, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a virtue, they argue, but a vulnerability. So now they're working to drive out of classrooms, Kay and I were just talking about this, conversations about empathy. And they're arguing that empathy is for the weak, or the woke, as they would put it. Empathy is for the weak and the woke. Others, of course, argue that empathy is central. Dr. West and I had this conversation all the time. Empathy is central to our Christianity and the teachings of that first century Palestinian Jew we call Jesus. So this split is coming, this debate about who deserves empathy is coming at a time when Christianity and organized religion are shrinking in this country. The data about that is incontrovertible. And so there are all these conservatives and Christians writing books and engaging conversations and hosting podcasts and doing TED Talks bashing the notion of empathy. And so I'm thinking of Allie Beth Stuckey, who has a podcast and has written a book called Toxic Empathy: How Progressives Are Exploiting Christian Compassion. They call empathy, she calls it toxic empathy. It's dangerous. It's toxic. It will align you with hell. That's what Josh McPherson is preaching, that empathy aligns you with hell. Another pastor, Joe Rigney, has a book called The Sin of Empathy. So empathy will send you to hell. Empathy is a sin, according to him. And Elon Musk recently on Joe Rogan's podcast said that Western empathy toward the suffering of others is being weaponized and linked to a civilized decline, a decline rather in civilization, even though he once thought empathy was a good thing. So everybody's turning in on this notion of empathy. It's toxic. It's for the weak. It's for the woke. It's dangerous. And that empathy is a sin. It'll send you to hell. That's what the right is preaching now in this moment about empathy. What does Dr. Cornel West have to say about all of that? We'll talk about that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
I love you, I love you, baby, I love you. I sure would like for you to remember.
Generous listening.
Charitable listening.
That's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya Kuselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit tremfya.com.
Target's Black Friday deals are delivering big surprises all week long, like 40 to 50% off top holiday gifts, plus thousands more deals in-store and online, all with free shipping. Load up on all the season's must-haves with huge deals on tech, video games, toys, floor care, clothing for the family, and so much more. Hurry! These deals are going fast. 40 to 50% off gifts and Saturday. Only at Target. Free shipping applies to orders over $35.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornel West. I want to spend these next 15 minutes with Dr. West talking about empathy on life support, as it were. So from Donald Trump on down, we see evidence every day that empathy is under attack, and I tried to set the frame for you based on my readings about the ways in which empathy has now become a football, political football, if you will. Conservatives in this major fight, not all of them, but certainly many of them, are now pushing back on the very notion of empathy. I can't think of anything more Christian than empathy. But this war is starting to wage, Doc. Take it away and run with it, man.
Oh, it's so true. You know, I've been blessed to have some deep conversations with my beloved daughter, Zaytun, who's finishing up a course that she is a teaching assistant in, and they were reading the great novel of empathy by George Eliot called Middlemarch, published in 1872. And the fundamental thesis of that powerful novel is that there's a woman named Dorothea Brooks who was trying to enact the life of Teresa Avila, who was fundamentally committed to empathy, the self-sacrificial love, and that, in fact, the best of history is manifest among ordinary people who engage in acts of empathy and kindness that are usually overlooked, and they end up living lives that are hidden, and they end up residing in unvisited tombs. Now, that's some powerful stuff. That's in many ways the history of black people, that most of our great folk have actually been overlooked.
Yeah.
Their lives have been hidden. There's no Martin King without the parents and grandparents. There's no Fannie Lou Hamer without her favorite aunts and uncles and grandparents. Nobody knows about the backstory. As you put it, we just know about the glory of those particular individuals. Well, when it comes to the Elon Musk and others, empathy has never, ever been a part of who and what they are. They come out of a tradition of eugenics. Eugenics is about generating particular slices of humanity who will dominate and subjugate and colonize and degrade the rest of humanity. So empathy is a impediment of their domination. When you look at the Trump administration, what do you see? You see barbarity, you see cruelty, and you see empathy as the enemy. Empathy is the foe of those who want to dominate, those who engage only in transaction and not transformation for the kingdom. There's a wonderful line at the very end of Middlemarch where George Eliot talks about the growing good in the world. Reminds me of John Coltrane's language of being a force for good in the world. But the growing good in the world only comes out of those who decide to love their neighbor, to have empathy for those who are suffering. And so there's no accident that Elon Musk and others are part of this kind of anti-empathy dialogue. We've seen Christians have been a part of it, Christian white supremacists, Christian patriarchs, and so forth. Christians have a long tradition of generating hate. That's a sad thing, brother. But I'm talking about the prophetic Christians like Martin King and Fannie Lou Hamer who said, wait a minute, we hate injustice, we hate domination, we hate subjugation, but we're going to love our neighbor. We're going to love lives of empathy. And in that sense, it's going to be very similar to the best of a Dorothea Brooks or so many of the other figures that our dear sister was just talking about. I'm talking about my dear sister, Dr. K. Wise Whitehead.
Yeah. What about this notion, Doc? I want to go a little bit deeper into two or three of the points, excuse me, that I made earlier. That two or three of the arguments, the bankrupt arguments, obviously, that many on the right are starting to make about empathy. Point number one is that empathy is for the weak and the woke. Empathy is for the weak and the woke. To that, you'd say what?
I would say woke is always a relative term, brother. I don't see any of the right wing. I don't see any of the fascists promoting sleepwalking. They have their own conception of woke. They want to be woke from the woke. Nobody supports sleepwalking forever.
That's right.
It's relative to if you're woke in terms of the suffering of poor people and working people. Those are the ones who are targeted by the fascist and right wing who want people to be woke from our wokeness. And we've been trying to wake America up for 260 years, 250 years, and 400 years since we got off of those barbaric slave ships with barbaric slave auctions and barbaric slave plantations. Yet we keep fighting, we keep resisting, remembering, and we keep revering something bigger than ourselves. But I'll say this, though, brother, because I was listening closely to y'all's conversation when you were arguing whether these days we're much more soft, much more conformist, much more cowardly than those who came before. And she made a powerful point. The older generation has always been critical of the younger generation, but I do think that the present moment is not our golden age.
Ooh.
Let's just put it that way. The present moment is not the golden age for black people or those who used to be called Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we have to be honest about that. And with Sankofa, we've got to be able to go back to our roots and recover those towering figures who constituted a golden age. No golden age lasts forever. We're not going to have a Curtis Mayfield these days, even though we got talent. We don't have an Aretha, even though we got Lettucey. We don't have a Martin, even though we got some voices. We don't have a Fannie Lou or Ella Baker, even though we got crucial voices. We got to be honest about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, you and I, obviously, we're simpatico in that. I didn't put it the way you put it. I'll take your frame that this is not our golden age. This is not us at our best. But that still begs the question whether or not there is enough left in the tank. Do we have enough left, even though it's not our golden age?
Well, we always got something in the tank, though, brother.
Yeah,
that's the good news. That's the good news. As long as you and Kay and myself and many of those whose names we don't know, whose work we don't keep track of, whose organizations we don't highlight, we always have a cloud of witnesses that's holding up the bloodstained banner and the tear-soaked banner of truth and justice and love coming on the black side, and then, of course, it spills over the other communities as well. But whether that's enough, oh, Lord, no, it's never enough, my brother.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough in the golden age, but we had more of it in the golden age.
So what happens? I'm not asking this question out of any naivete, but what happens to a democracy, or again, as I always say, an experiment in democracy, when you have Christians, when you have a particular sect of Christians who are now preaching that to care about the least of these is toxic, that it is dangerous, that it aligns you with hell, that it is a sin, and you start seeing these attacks against empathy as spiritually dangerous. What happens to a democracy when we cannot engage in earnest conversation about what it does in fact mean to care about the least of these?
Well, it means the democracy goes under, the empire collapses, and something emerges in its face. But we got to always remember now, brother, that 95% of Christians in America supported slavery during the age of slavery. 95% of white Christians in America supported Jim Crow.
Yeah.
There wasn't a major white Christian movement against lynching. It took place every 2.5 days for 50 years. You had 5% of the white Christians, God bless them. Oh, yes, the Miles Hortons of Highlander Center. We got examples. But that's just a small group. They got tons of cousins out there who never got the memo.
Yeah.
And so we should never be discouraged while those in the name of the cross and Jesus end up acting satanically and devilishly.
Yeah.
There's a long, long history of that.
Yeah. You and I were in a conversation with some friends of ours. We're going to leave the names out, but you know what I'm talking about. We were in a conversation not long ago with some friends. We were talking about courage. And somebody at the table said, referred to courage as a value. And you said, no, brother. Courage is not a value. Courage is a virtue. And I about fell out of my chair when you said that. It's not a value. Courage is not a value. Courage is a virtue. Here, in this debate, we have people referring to empathy not as a virtue, but as a vulnerability. How do you process that?
Yeah, well, first, of course, a value tends to be something that an isolated individual chooses, whereas a virtue flows from a way of life that an individual has been shaped and molded in and decided to be a part of that way of life. So virtue cuts much, much, much deeper. It's an inculcated habit that flows from a way of life in light of a vision of something that's more true and more beautiful and more grand and more holy. But when it comes to the eugenics crowd who look down on most of humanity with contempt, Empathy is going to be an enemy for them. It's going to be an impediment for them. But in the end, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep resisting. We're going to keep remembering. We're going to keep revering something bigger than ourselves. And as long as that cloud of witnesses are out there, brother, it's a threat to a status quo, which means that status quo can never rest uncritically. It can never rest eternally.
Yeah. Let me offer this as the exit question with a couple minutes to go here. We are in that season, actually it just passed, where every year there's a huge convention called the American Academy of Religion, the AAR. And I've been honored for many, many years to just hang out with Dr. West. I literally just trail him and follow him around. When he appears every year at the AAR, he's usually on some panel or giving some talk, or more often than not, there's some panel talking about his work at the AAR every year. So the AAR just passed. It was in Boston. Was it Boston this year, Doc?
Yeah, it was Boston this year.
Yeah, it was Boston, yeah. So Doc and I didn't make it to the AAR this year. He was here in Southern California, and we hung out here in L.A. But typically we would make our way to the AAR convention. And I raise that only because when you have Christians who are now turning on the notion of empathy, which again is at the epicenter of everything that Jesus ever talked about, never stood for. My exit question in a couple minutes here is whether or not Christianity as we have known it is in trouble.
Oh, I mean, it's always been in trouble. Lord, indeed. I can't wait to talk to my dear brother Stanley Tolbert, one of the prophetic forces and voices in L.A. and the country, professor at Pepperdine, and Heather, my beloved wife, and I always love to sit down and talk with that brother. He was there in Boston. We're going to get a full report.
Yeah.
But I'm sure part of his report will be that not just Christianity, but Judaism, not just Judaism, but Buddhism, not just Buddhism, but Hinduism, all these religious traditions are in crisis because none of them have been able to generate strong enough communities to expand and grow the good in the way that they would like. That's what it is to be human. We always up against the grain. We were talking about the book of Job, brother.
That's it. That's
Lord,
it. Yeah.
Always up against forces that we have to fight in the name of truth and justice and love. And that for us, that means fighting against vicious white supremacy, fighting against predatory capitalism, fighting against ugly forms of imperialism, fighting against the atrocious forms of patriarchy and homophobia and transphobia.
Yeah. When I think of Dr. West and any conversation about love and justice and empathy, I think of any number of quotes from Cornel West, and one of them that he's fond of sharing is that we are who we are because somebody loved us. So for all those folk preaching an anti-empathy agenda, an anti-empathetic agenda, they wouldn't be who they are if somebody hadn't loved them. We are who we are because somebody loved us. The question is, can you remember? Apparently not for some people. Doc, I love you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, my brother. Stay strong, man.
When we were children, we were always together, and our love had no end.
Why does Tavis say, when we come forward?
Because he's not going back.
And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump's pardon of Congressman Henry Cuellar adds drama to his South Texas seat race. Experts like UT San Antonio professor John Taylor say it hurts GOP chances.
You're undercutting what would be a viable Republican candidate in the 2026 election.
Redistricting shook up the congressional district as a big part of San Antonio that trended Democrat has been removed. With weeks left in office, Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams signed an order banning city officials from boycotting or divesting in Israel. He also directed the NYPD to explore new rules for protests near houses of worship after recent anti-Semitic chants outside a synagogue. And the long-awaited third season of the hit series Euphoria will be released in April. HBO made the announcement on Wednesday. Most of the original cast is returning, including Zendaya and Coleman Domingo. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Last night in Atlanta, the Clippers played like they had a clear conscience and the weight of the world was knocked off their shoulders. Did the removal of Chris Paul have something to do with that? A very debatable subject. The Clippers dominated Atlanta 115-92 to snap a 5-game losing streak. It was only the second time this season the Clippers held an opponent below 100 points. The Clippers gave up 98 points at Golden State on October 28 but lost that game. James Harden led the Clippers last night with 27 points and 9 assists. The Clippers' defense was so effective that Atlanta had only 14 free throw attempts. It was obvious the Clippers were in a better mood in their first game without Paul. The 12-time All-Star point guard and future Hall of Famer was released late Tuesday night for being too critical of the team. We'll see if Paul's departure keeps the Clippers in a feel-good atmosphere. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in.
But we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed. We thank Dr. Cornel West, as always, for showing up here every Monday and Thursday, top of the second hour. What a spirited conversation that was. In case you missed it, check out the podcast posted later tonight. But nice conversation about empathy and all the attack that empathy is under these days. Go figure in the holiday season that people could literally be referring to empathy as toxic in our culture. I digress. You missed any of it. Again, check out the podcast. So now, a conversation, I've been looking forward to this as well, with Oliver Chee. Who is Oliver Chee? Glad you asked. Oliver Chee is the city manager in Santa Monica, beautiful Santa Monica, California. And he is in studio right now to talk about the reparations paid to the family of Silas White. Who was Silas White? Glad you asked that too. A black entrepreneur who had his Ebony Beach Club seized by the city of Santa Monica back in the 1950s. But after all these decades, the city of Santa Monica has moved to make this thing right. And I am honored to welcome the city manager for Santa Monica, Oliver Chee, in studio. City Manager Chee, how are you today?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you for having me today, Travis.
It's good to see you, man. Good to have you in studio. Let me start by framing this, if I can. I was saying to Oliver Chee when he walked in studio that, to my mind, and I find this fascinating, I've said many, many times that what happens in California politics either casts a long shadow or a long sunbeam across the nation. And in this space, over the last few years, there have been 2 or 3 major national stories about reparations that have all come out of California. First and foremost, we all know the Bruce's Beach story. George Fothery, the attorney that was on that case, Stephen Bradford, former state senator here in California, was behind that in the State House. So there is the Bruce's Beach story, and they finally righted that situation to the tune of $20 million, as I recall. There's a story in Palm Springs for all these black and brown folks who had their homes burnt down in Palm Springs. We saw a big settlement in that case announced not too long ago. And now the city of Santa Monica. So maybe there's something in the water here in California that's allowing us to be advancing these cases. For starters, how do you read that reality that not 1, not 2, but 3 major national stories about reparations all coming out of California?
No, it's a great point you make, Travis, and I think it relates to what you and I were talking about before coming on, that the history of the world's littered with those that have power taking from those that don't. And maybe we're at a place in California where we're still thoughtful enough to think about, can we try to make that a little bit more right? And not just make it right for those that experienced those particular awful circumstances, but can we improve the social circumstances moving ahead? Because there is generational harm, certainly, that's happened, from these circumstances that we've seen all across the country.
Yep. So you've been city manager in Santa Monica for less than a year. So the story of what happened to Silas White and the journey to try to make this right precedes you. So tell me where these conversations were when you stepped into your position some months ago.
Yeah, certainly. I think in Santa Monica there was recognition a couple of years ago that we needed to think about reparations more intentionally. The city had set up a land back and reparations task force, and really the issue that really instigated a lot of attention on the issue was the Ebony Beach Club. And this was the story of Silas White, entrepreneur, wanted to, through a nonprofit that he had founded, set up a beach club in Santa Monica. And through a series of events, the city, back in the 50s, utilized eminent domain to take the property away. It's a part of Santa Monica's history that I think we're grappling with as a community. How do you try to reconcile those issues? It wasn't just the Silas White Ebony Beach Club situation we're dealing with. In Santa Monica, the high school, the civic center, that whole area is part of a historically black community called the Bellamar Triangle. Right adjacent to that was where the current Viceroy Hotel sits. That's where the Ebony Beach Club was. And certainly our Pico neighborhood was impacted through multiple decisions, including the 10 freeway extension that the city and the federal government played a role in coordinating. All of those issues impacted our black communities, brown communities. We even had a large Japanese community that's been impacted through those historical decisions. And really, I think for a couple of years, we've been grappling, how do we reconcile that history with the community we want to be moving forward?
Yep. Tell me more about what, I'm always fascinated by the backstory, about those things that animate these course corrections as they were, or as they are. Tell me what was behind this particular course correction.
I think one of the things that hopefully folks recognize, we pay a lot of attention to federal politics, what's happening in D.C., when you're looking nationally. What happens locally, those elections matter too. And I think in Santa Monica, we've had a series of elected leaders who prioritize this as an issue, that if we want to be the type of community we think Santa Monica can be, it requires us to acknowledge what happened and try to find a way to solve for those issues, or at least make it a little bit more right. There's no way to solve for it, in a manner that's perfect. But man, can we do something to make it better than what the situation is? I think that's really what the Ebony Beach Club situation brought to light for the city, that there is this historical issue we should be thinking about. And it's been a privilege to be part of a process to try to do a little bit of good against all this historical wrong.
When you say it's been a privilege to be part of the process, tell me more about that on a personal level for you.
No, certainly. Well, personally, I'm first generation in this country. My parents immigrated here. So my dad just believed America was the place.
Immigrated from where?
They actually immigrated from Europe.
Yeah.
My mom and dad met in Vienna, in Austria. But originally they grew up in Taiwan.
Okay, Taiwan, okay.
So eventually made their way here, and it was sort of a lifelong dream. They wanted to be here for, their kids, for me, to have an opportunity to, have a different life than they had. It was so built into the psyche of their upbringing. With that as background, coming here, recognizing again, there's no perfect society. We had a lot of issues here in this country right now. I think for me, what this issue really resonated with personally is I think it's a demonstration we can still do things that are important and hard and right.
Yeah. Since I'm on a personal level here, I'm just fascinated by this. How do you process, and what does it say about the city of Santa Monica, that their city manager is a first-generation immigrant?
I think it's, for me personally, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that. It's more the responsibility of making sure you honor the sacrifices that your parents made. Make sure that you're doing right by the organization, the community, doing right by folks that certainly working in a public position is hard. Recognizing there's a responsibility to do the best that I can in that role. It's all important.
Yep. So talking about doing what's right, when we come forward, we'll get into the details of what the city of Santa Monica did to make this situation right, to course correct when it comes to the family of Silas White. Again, this black entrepreneur who had his Ebony Beach Club seized by the city of Santa Monica back in the 1950s. What did the city of Santa Monica do to make it right? We'll talk about that part when we come forward with the city manager for Santa Monica, Oliver Chee, on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
KBLA Talk 1580 remembers Robin Ayers on the 1-year anniversary of her passing. 1 year ago this week, we lost a remarkable and vibrant voice. Robin Ayers touched countless lives through her passion, her love, her service, and her smile, which you could see through the radio. KBLA Talk 1580 honors her memory and celebrates the legacy she left behind. Robin, your spirit lives on in every conversation, in every connection, and in every one of us, inspired by your voice. Gone, but never forgotten. KBLA Talk 1580, where voices matter.
I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns. I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns. You find a Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
I'm Tavis Smiley. He's Oliver Chi. I'm just a lowly talk show host. He is the city manager in the city of Santa Monica, California. So in case you just tuned in, we were talking earlier. I was talking earlier about what's happening here in California that's allowing some of these reparations cases to really advance. Again, Bruce's Beach, out in Palm Springs, now in Santa Monica. And again, in case you just tuned in, we're talking about the family of Silas White, who was a black entrepreneur, had an Ebony Beach Club right near the water in Santa Monica that was seized by the city back in the 1950s. And the city of Santa Monica has finally gotten around to doing the right thing. Oliver Chi, what does the right thing look like?
You know, ultimately, as you kind of work through it all, the right thing that we got to is this. Silas's family, he has a daughter, Constance, who really has been trying to bring knowledge and light to this situation, this historical situation. And with all of those efforts, the way we're making it right is in January now, we're going to bring back for the city council the establishment of a restorative justice program. And it's not going to be something that we just talk about. Because of this particular situation with the Ebony Beach Club, it's triggered a discussion. We are going to put real resources into this program to try to right some of the historical wrongs, maybe show a little bit of empathy, like you and Cornel were talking about earlier, Tavis. What we're planning to do is one of the pieces of property in Santa Monica that historically was part of this larger black community, it currently houses the Rand Corporation. In that particular situation, Rand is looking to sell that building. We were able to negotiate a development deal with them as part of that transaction. The funds from that transaction, it's $3.5 million as a first tranche, are going to be allocated to this restorative justice program. We're going to engage with the community, create a restorative justice type commission. We're going to work with a mediator. We're going to set up a program to deal with both reparations, looking backwards. Our council is also passionate about how do we, moving forward, try to utilize those resources to set a brighter path for those that have been impacted by these historical wrongs. So the $3.5 million is the first tranche. We're going to look for additional funding. The thought being the areas that were historically properties that were owned by black community, brown community. We had a Japanese community that was impacted in Santa Monica. Revenues that the city earns from those areas where those properties were taken, can we reinvest that back into this larger restorative justice program moving ahead? Ultimately, it's one of the largest reparations type programs that have been set up by a municipality anywhere in the country. Again, hopefully shows some empathy, and it shows a commitment by the city to try to do something to make these historical wrongs a little bit more right.
Yeah, I love the restorative justice work that you're going to be doing into the future. That's work that we applaud. How did the city settle specifically with the family of Silas White?
Yeah, as part of that whole process, we've agreed we're going to provide Constance with a payment of $350,000 initially. All of the work she's done to raise awareness and create this, that really was part of the intent of this. How do you create awareness on what's happened in Santa Monica historically?
Right.
We're also going to, once the restorative justice program's established, allow and help Constance as she files for a claim against the situation that previously occurred at the Ebony Beach Club. And we're going to do a ton to try to bring awareness in the city to what happened at the Ebony Beach Club, what happened with Silas White. We're going to be doing exhibits at our library related to the story of Silas, this black entrepreneur who was very successful back in the day, had an idea, started a nonprofit, got a lease to start operating, and then had it all taken away. That story needs to be told. It's interesting, too.
So I'm clear, he had a lease, but Silas was never a landowner?
Correct. He had a lease.
Had a lease, exactly.
And that's another interesting nuance.
It's a twist.
You mentioned the Bruce's Beach situation.
They were landowners.
They were landowners.
Exactly,
And so that's some of the nuance here.
Sure.
I think it's a demonstration of the city's commitment. Even though there wasn't a land ownership interest, there was still a commitment from the city. Let's try to make this right.
Yep.
We're also going to be on the land that was actually where the Ebony Beach Club was going to be located. It's now the site of a hotel, the Viceroy.
Sure.
There's a little street right in between the Viceroy and the Rand building. That street's going to get renamed for Silas White.
Oh, that's cool.
And we're also going to make sure Silas's birthday is October 12th. So every October 12th in Santa Monica, we're going to coordinate a celebration. Just so we don't forget. This was the situation really that triggered the awareness for the city. We need to do something. So we have a lot of, we just appreciate that Constance has been so committed to bringing this up and pushing it forward.
It seems textured and layered, and not just a hit it and quit it sort of thing.
Correct.
And I think well, first of all, it's Constance. If Constance is happy, if she likes it, I love it. If Constance likes it, I love it. But I love the fact that there are layers to this, to the way that the city of Santa Monica is going to move into the future, given the way it moved in the past. Our remaining moments with the city manager of Santa Monica, Oliver Chi, when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Oliver Chi, the city manager in Santa Monica. So here's another story, another good story about people making things right. In this case, the family of Silas White, this black entrepreneur who had his Ebony Beach Club seized by the city of Santa Monica in the 1950s, has received some compensation, and the city has set up a restorative justice program. They're honoring him on his birthday every year as a sort of holiday, if you will, in Santa Monica, and setting up all sorts of teach-ins and other processes to share the story of Silas White and what happened to him. I was asking Oliver before he gets out of here in the next couple of minutes how old Constance is. She's in her 90s now?
She's in her 90s.
Lives
now.
in Northern California,
Mm-hmm.
and she's working with you all to make all this stuff happen.
Correct.
You met her?
We met through a mediation process as we were trying to resolve everything. Certainly I think there's so much history. I think a lot of frustration because this took so long. But I think, Tavis, what you said earlier, too, that folks who have been in the long run, seen all of this impact on their life, to get to a place where we're able to do something, positive, to try to recognize that, make it a little bit better. It's just, it was a cool process to be part of.
I was saying to Oliver during the commercial break, I was sharing with him the story of Viola Ford Fletcher, who I said to him was sitting in the same chair he's sitting in right now just a year or so ago for one of her last interviews. She passed away last week or so at the age of 111 as the longest living survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre. And I was saying to him that she passed away as a warrior, but the city of Tulsa and state of Oklahoma never really quite, the city of Tulsa is doing some stuff now, but never really quite made her whole on behalf of her family all those years. And she passes away at the age of 111 after fighting for justice all those years. But at least Constance, Miss Constance, in her 90s now, lived long enough to see some respect put on her father's name.
That's right.
Silas White. And so we are grateful to the city of Santa Monica for finally doing the right thing. And as I said earlier, if Constance likes it, I love it. But I'm just glad that she's still here to experience and to witness some modicum of justice on behalf of her precious father. Oliver Chi, thank you for your work and witness. Good to have you in, man. All the best to you.
Tavis, thank you so much for having me.
Happy holidays. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump's pardon of Congressman Henry Cuellar adds drama to his South Texas seat race. Experts like UT San Antonio professor John Taylor say it hurts GOP chances.
You're undercutting what would be a viable Republican candidate in the 2026 election.
Redistricting shook up the congressional district as a big part of San Antonio that trended Democrat has been removed. With weeks left in office, Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams signed an order banning city officials from boycotting or divesting in Israel. He also directed the NYPD to explore new rules for protests near houses of worship after recent anti-Semitic chants outside a synagogue. And the long-awaited third season of the hit series Euphoria will be released in April. HBO made the announcement on Wednesday. Most of the original cast is returning, including Zendaya and Coleman Domingo. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Last night in Atlanta, the Clippers played like they had a clear conscience and the weight of the world was knocked off their shoulders. Did the removal of Chris Paul have something to do with that? A very debatable subject. The Clippers dominated Atlanta 115-92 to snap a 5-game losing streak. It was only the second time this season the Clippers held an opponent below 100 points. The Clippers gave up 98 points at Golden State on October 28th, but lost that game. James Harden led the Clippers last night with 27 points and 9 assists. The Clippers' defense was so effective that Atlanta had only 14 free throw attempts. It was obvious the Clippers were in a better mood in their first game without Paul. The 12-time All-Star point guard and future Hall of Famer was released late Tuesday night for being too critical of the team. We'll see if Paul's departure keeps the Clippers in a feel-good atmosphere. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Happy This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
Brothers and sisters, I want to welcome you back to life. Back to the one that can make your next chapter your best chapter. Hallelujah.